Hi, it's Coach Lloyd, 25-time Ironman and long course finisher, sub 3-hour marathoner, and first African American to finish an Ironman on all 6 continents plus Kona. Today, we're going to talk about winter and cold running gear. As it gets colder, no matter what you want to do, you always still want to get a run. So it doesn't really matter how cold it is, it's just making sure that you have the right gear in order for the run to feel comfortable. So let's start off from the bottom and work our way all the way up to the top. So we're going to start off with your socks. By the time the weather gets a little cooler, you're going to want to switch out from your normal thin summer running socks, and you're going to want to get something a little thicker. All right, something that's a little thicker and warmer so that your feet stay a little bit warm. I like to go with the ankle socks at the early part when it's in the fall, and they're pretty comfortable. Make sure they're moisture wicking. You can also get the ones that are seamless as well, but you just want something a little thicker than what you were running in the summertime. Moving up, you might also like something that goes up and covers a little bit of your Achilles and work its way up your calf a little bit. So you can get something that's a little longer. And again, these are all moisture wicking, but pretty thick to keep you warm on those cold runs. All right. Then you can really get some really thick socks that go all the way up over your calf. Get them as tall as you'd like. Almost up to your knees. These are the ones for sometimes you're going to go do some trail running, but it's not cold enough for you to wear long pants just yet, but you still want a little coverage. So, the longer the socks are, gives you a little bit more so that your Achilles, your calf, all of those are staying warm and covered. Also, from time to time, you may be even interested in running in some compression socks. So you can get them and they'll, give you a little support and hold everything together, help with that blood circulation that you may be looking for in the winter months as you're out there. But again, it's really a preference. Usually I kind of save my compression socks for after a run during my recovery, but some people like to run with them from time to time. When it gets really cold, another option you can add in after you've figured out what you're going to do for your socks are some toe covers. All right, so after you put your socks on, you just kind of slide these onto your toes and then put your shoes on. So if you're still wearing your racing flats or your summer shoes that still kind of let air in, throw these toe covers on, and that kind of prevents any of the extra wind that may come through as you're running, and just kind of keep the toes a little warmer than without it. So consider adding that to your collection. It's a pretty nice thing to have on those cold mornings when you're trying to get out. For me, when my feet are cold, that just really dictates the vibe and the feel for the whole run. So I try to make sure that my feet are cold as I'm running. So I take measures to ensure of that. Next up, moving to your shorts. I always like to have, you can start off with your basic run shorts. One of the things I always like to make sure when I'm getting shorts is to make sure that there are pockets as well as some sort of zipper. All right, that way I can, you can stick your phone. We're always running with our phones. You want to carry a card or ID, some cash, or if you're doing a longer run, you're going to want to, throw a gel or something in there that you want to carry on. So having a pocket as well as, a zipper is a great way to start off. So you're going to have that. Your basic run shorts is going to be at the bottom. As the weather gets a little as the weather gets a little cooler, then you're going to want to start to layer up. Everything is about layers, so as you add on, if you need to, you can take something off. All right, so first up would be kind of adding your basic tights or your 3/4 pants, something like a capri type running pants. So they don't cover your whole leg, but they cover you enough. They go over your knees. or your full basic tights, so that they cover your whole leg, and it kind of blocks a little bit of the wind, and give you a tight feeling as you run. Once it gets a little cool, it gets beyond where you want to do your basic tights, and you want to move up because the weather's getting colder. That's when I want to start to go on to more like your leggings. You want to make sure you get a nice pair of leggings that some of them will have a bit of a lining, so that the outside is breathable, but the outside is a little thicker material, so that it gives you a little bit more warmth as you go. So these are kind of like the next level of your tights, but they're going to be a little bit more help you to keep you warmer than just your basic tights. So they're just a tad bit thicker. Some of you don't like the feel of things touching against you. So once it gets a little colder, and again, this is an additional layer on top of your tights or in lieu of your tights, you can get some sweats that are a little bit more baggy, so that they're not actually firmly on your skin, but they have a little space for you to run in there and move. And you'll see that the material and layer on the inside, again, everything is being moisture wicking, but it's a little bit thicker, but it's more of a baggier fit, so that you're not having that compression type feeling as you would with the tights or one of the other base layer options. So I like to do that when it's a little cold. I'd either have my tights on and then something like this on top of it, just so that I don't get that cold feeling on my legs as I run, or depending, I can go with just these and my run shorts. When it gets really bad, again with the layers, you may have some leggings or your 3/4 pants, your tights, and then it's good to have just a pair of jogging pants. So here, you're gonna have your pockets for you to hold your items, probably a back pocket, side pocket, and it's one layer of material, so there's no lining or anything like that. It's just one piece that you work with. And these are good as well if you just have your run shorts on, you throw on a pair of sweats like these, and you go out for your run, so that you block the wind that's coming at you, and it's a nice comfortable feeling as you're going out for a run. So with the base layer on the bottom, you can layer it. So whether you want to have your run shorts and then a pair of tights, and then you add on some sweats on top, that's fine. One of the things I like to do would be to wear my run shorts and then some tights on top. That way, if I'm doing a run workout, say at a track or some hill repeats, if it gets too warm during the run, I can take off the tights, put them on the side, finish my workout, then pick them up right where I left them and keep on moving. That way, you don't have to worry about, overheating, because you can just kind of peel off one layer as you need it. So now that we've got the lower half done, let's kind of move up top. Moving up top, again, it's all about layering. Starting off with, you're going to have just your basic dry fit, moisture wicking t-shirt on top that you're going to begin your run with. As you get going, you can switch out your short sleeve or sleeveless as the weather changes to a long sleeve top. All right, so you're going to get a long sleeve so that you get a little bit more coverage. Depending on how cold it is, you may have your short sleeve underneath, and then you put your long sleeve on top. That way, if you warm up during the run, you can take off your long sleeve shirt and just simply kind of wrap it around your waist, continue on with your run without being too concerned about anything. So you just kind of start off and add an extra layer. As it gets a little colder, you're going to start looking for additional layers that have like a bit of a fleece type lining to them. So it's a little thicker. So it has like a fleece type material that helps keep you warm. You can wear this as the base layer shirt by itself. If without your regular short sleeve shirt or a long sleeve, you can just wear this as your base by itself, depending on how comfortable you feel or what the weather's doing. Now, once you've gone through your t-shirt, your long sleeve, and another long sleeve with a little bit of a fleece lining, sometimes it still gets a little cold, so you've got to go back down to your base layer and really work on that. All right. When it comes to the base layer, I like something that's going to be moisture wicking, tight fitting, that has a little bit of a compression type feeling. And that's going to hold everything in and really insulate you and keep you warm. It's going to be a long sleeve so that you keep your torso and your arms warm. And then on top of this is where you would either add your long sleeve shirt on top of it, or a short sleeve shirt on top as needed. But the item closest to your skin, the base layer, that's the part that's going to really be working to keep you warm, while the additional layer is going to add a little comfort and maybe break a little bit of the wind from coming. Other options for your base layer. So you've got other types that kind of have that old school format, thermal type feel to it, but they still do the job. So they're a mesh type material where it's breathable and works pretty well as you go out for your run. Moving on, after you have your base layer, whether it's your dry fit item that's going to, with the compression features that's going to hold everything tight. Sometimes you just want something on top of all of that to break the wind and to just make you feel a little warm. So you can get a bit of a running fleece. There's the kind that are the zip downs where you have a nice zipper in the front. One of the features that I look for when I come to these types are the ones with a place for your thumb to kind of come out. So you place it, it works almost like a partial glove. So it holds your hand and lets your thumb stick out so that you can access anything that you need, but keeps everything warm. So this would go on top of either your short sleeve run shirt or your long sleeve dry fit or your winter base layer. If it's going to be pretty cold, you can also get the pullover type fleece. These, they're pretty good, more of a thermal type feel to it as well, so that the material on the inside is pretty good to help kind of keep you warm. It's all still moisture wicking so that you feel comfortable and insulated. Sometimes after you're out for a run, one of the main factors is not just the temperature, but the wind. So it's always good to have a nice basic run windbreaker in your run collection, so that it's pretty lightweight with reflective material on it. And the goal here is just for it to be that outer shell to break any kind of wind that's coming at you, so that it doesn't just overwhelm you on the run, so that your base layers, your long sleeves, everything you have underneath can keep you warm, and your outer shell running jacket keeps the wind from coming in and really kind of give you that chill that's no fun to have. If it's not too windy, the other option would be a fleece type jacket. This one is one with a zipper. So that way you can kind of, zippers are great to help you self-regulate. So you throw your zipper on and you throw your jacket on with the zipper, and as you get warmer on the run, you can just kind of unzip it as much as you need. You zip it all the way down, open it up, continue on your run, and still feel pretty good. And if it gets too warm, you can always take it off, wrap it around your waist, and keep going. For those of you that are cyclists or triathletes, you'll notice that some of your cycling winter gear can double as good running gear options as well. So again, this would be like your cycling winter fleece. It can multitask as something for you to run in as well. When it gets really cold, you want to then have that outer layer, which would be a running jacket. And again, for those of you who are cyclists or triathlete, your winter cycling coat with the hard outer shell, that's going to really protect you from the cold wind coming through. You can use that if you don't already have a separate run jacket. And of course, the extra feature is that it has pockets in the back for you to carry anything, nutrition or whatever you want to carry during the run. When you come to your standard run jacket, all right, when you get your standard jacket, usually they're going to have a couple layers in there so that you can unzip the inner lining. It may be some sort of fleece or mesh that you can unzip so that it just becomes a windbreaker outer shell, or you can zip in the inner lining so that it becomes more of a winter running coat. I always like to have one that has a hoodie on it. When you're out running, sometimes you just want to pull something up over your head to just block the wind from coming at you. So having an extra hoodie attached to it is always a good bonus feature when you're looking for your standard run jacket. So now that we've got your base layers, your legs, your upper body all taken care of, let's move on to the top. Standard, you're going to start off with your basic hat that you're going to wear as the weather gets cooler. It's probably the same one you normally wear during the summertime as well. Once the wind starts to pick up, the temperature drops, it's always good to get a nice simple skull cap that you can use and put over your head. Keeps everything warm. I like to make sure that it's long enough so that it can cover my ears and get them tucked in. For some reason, every time my ears are out and they get cold, I feel really cold, so I like to pull my hat down enough to cover my ears. Some of them, they have extra features, or, kind of like where it's a nice hat, but it also has an opening in the back. So if you want to wrap your hair in a ponytail, it allows you to put your ponytail through the back and be free. So, kind of look for those kind of perks. When it gets even cooler, go for a thicker running hat, something that's going to really keep you warm, nice and thick, still moisture wicking. Some of them are different types of fleece material so that you just kind of keep your whole entire head warm. From time to time, you can even get your decorative kind with your little pom-pom on the front so that as you're running down the street, folks can see you. Depending on the temperature, I also like a neck gaiter. It's really good to just kind of put around, and it also doubles as a face mask. When you're out and running, you can just kind of pull it up a little bit and cover, so as you're running by people on the street, if you need to, you can kind of pull it up a little bit more. This kind of prevents any of the wind from getting from your opening and kind of coming down your chest and getting into your neck area. So even if you have your jacket on or your fleece, the wind just kind of still works its way down. So having one of these are pretty good. When you're all in, super cold, you can get a complete face mask that's going to cover everything while you're out there. Usually for me, if the weather is this bad where I feel like this is my option, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to stay home and avoid the run. But it's still a good option because sometimes you just really have to get out and get that run in, whether it's for training or mental clarity. Sometimes we use running as our therapy. So you can get a full face mask so that your ears, your head, everything is covered and you can stay really, really warm with it. For your gloves, there's different levels. I usually start off at the first part of fall with just your basic mesh type gloves. These, they keep the wind out slightly, but it's not too cold. Actually, the breeze gets through, but it's not so cold, so it's not too bad. You just want to keep something so that your hands are a little bit warm. They're a little thick, but, they're really good in a pinch. As time goes on, I go for something that isn't open knitted, that's closed completely with a little lining so that it kind of keeps my arm warm, my hands warm during the run. These are really great for mid-fall, early part of the winter. When you start to go in and it really starts to get cold, I like to make sure I get a thicker glove so that it really keeps my hand warm, but not too thick where I lose control of the mobility of my hands, because you still kind of want to still make your normal fist as you're running so you have a natural arm swing. One of the things I like to look for in my running gloves is to make sure that they have that technology that allows it to work on your phone. Some gloves, they won't have that. So if you try to use your phone while you're out on a run, you'll have to take off your glove in order to access the phone. And that's no fun. After you've been warm for so long, the last thing you want to do is take off your glove to open your phone, answer a call, send a message, whatever the case may be. So make sure they have that textile ability, that technology in there, so that when you can pull your phone out, you can still swipe, open, things like that without losing the comfort and warmth of having your gloves on. When you're out for a run, the big thing is you want to make sure that you're being seen or that you can see, and both. When the temperature changes, it's really, the time changes as well. So it gets dark a lot sooner and the light comes up a little bit later. So you may be out in the early morning getting your run done, or in the evening getting it done, and it may start to get dark. You want to make sure when you layer up that one of your layers is visibility so people can see you. All right, so a nice running vest that you add on. Most of your outer layers that you have on your jacket, your long sleeve shirts, most of them may have some reflective material on them. But again, you want to go the extra mile to make sure that you are seen when you're out there running. So get yourself a reflective vest that is easy to see as you're running in the early morning or early evening. You also want to make sure that people can see you and you can be seen. So you want to get yourself a headlamp. Depending if you're in the city, there may be enough street lights so that visibility is no problem. So you can get a basic headlamp just so that people can see you as you run. It's not going to give you much as far as visibility for you to make out things, but you're using the natural light and the street lights around you so that it's not really much of an issue. If you're going to run on some trails, off-road, you're in the country where there's not as much light available on the road, then you want to make sure that you get a light that allows you to see where you're going. So you want to get something with a little bit more lumen that allows you to see everything. And these are pretty good for you to just get out on your run it really kind of lights up the way for you as you go. So make sure you shop around and find one that's going to work and do the trick, either for you to see or for others to see you, depending on what conditions you're in. While we've got the front covered, you always want to have something on the back as well. You want to make sure that if cars are coming, they can see you. So this is one that you can kind of put on your back of your vest or your shirt or your running or your bottle cage, whatever you're carrying. And you're just going to kind of carry this as you run, place it on the back so that other runners, cyclists, motorists, they can see you and they're aware of you, and you stay safe. With my gloves, I like to add on some hotties, some hand warmers. You can place these inside the glove with your hands as you're holding it, so that it just adds a little extra warmth to it. So it's really nice to add in as you go. You can probably try some with your shoes as well. Slip a small pack in the shoes as you're running, just to kind of keep your feet warm, and as you go. You'll notice that they have a tendency to warm up the longer that you're out there. So if they don't start off too hot, don't be surprised. They kind of take a little time to warm up. A little trick from time to time is to pull them out, shake them, and then put them back. They need to breathe a little bit in order for them to really activate and stay warm for their chemicals to work. So slip that in. When it's really tough outside, the last thing I like to consider are adding some traction onto my running shoes, just to give them a little extra. So you cut a couple options. If you look outside and you're not sure if it's, should you go run or should you stay in because of the road conditions, throwing these on is a great way to, get a sense of comfort and confidence in going out for a run. And then you have different styles. They feel pretty good after you're out running with them. It takes a little getting used to at first, but they provide a nice little bit of traction on the shoe if you have ice or snow, or if you're going on trails. Really give some good support. But again, you got to be really into making sure you get that run done before you start deciding to add these on. I even use these sometime in my regular shoes when I'm running errands, just in case if it's slippery outside. So they're a really good option to have when you're out for a run. So again, it's all about making sure that you layer up, starting from the bottom. Pick your socks so that your feet stay warm. Move up to your shorts, your tights, your leggings, your jogging pants. Add those layers on depending on how cold it is and how you feel. Moving up to, you always want to keep your core warm. So you're starting off with your short sleeves, then switching out to a long sleeve, then something that's a fleece type, something that's more of a sweater jacket type, adding a windbreaker if needed, then a nice form-fitting base layer. You don't want to skimp on those. It's always worth investing in a good quality brand that's going to give you that base layer. Then you can get your running jacket. Make sure that it has a lining that can be removed so that it can work as just a running jacket, outer shell, or with an inner lining so it's a little bit thicker. Always want to keep your head warm, whether it's be a hat or a beanie. Pick your gloves, your shoes. Make sure you can add some traction on them as you need. And of course, always make sure that you're 100% visible when you're out for a run, whether it's with a safety vest, additional lighting, whatever it is. Just make sure that you stay safe, bright, warm, and enjoy your run as best as you can. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, leave us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.